everyone. My name is Kath, and I'm going to talk with you today about some ideas that you might have about something that you could teach someone about. You may have been making a lot of books. You may have been making books about how to do something. You may have been making books about things that happened to you, or a made-up story about something that happened with a superhero or a unicorn. You can also make books about things that you might teach about. And I'm going to just talk with you about some ideas that you might have, okay? So one way to think about what you might make a book about is to think about something that you love so much that you want to teach somebody else about it. You might also want to teach about something that you're learning about or that you just learned about. Maybe you read about it in a book, or you saw a movie, or you watched somebody do something and you learned so much about it, you could teach somebody else about that. Maybe you spend a lot of time doing something, like in this picture, this person's playing soccer, and you know so much about playing soccer or the thing that you do that you could teach somebody about that. There's lots of things that you know a lot about, and you can make that into a teaching book. So let me show you how I'm going to think about mine, and then you can think about what you might make a book about. So if I think, what do I love so much that I could teach somebody about and that I want to teach somebody about? Well, you know what? It was my birthday recently at the end of March. So that makes me think I know a lot about birthday parties. Yeah, I could write about birthday parties, like maybe like the hats you wear and the games you play. I could even have a part of my book, a page of my book, be about how you have a birthday when we're all stuck in our own houses. That could be something I could write about because I do love birthdays. Learning, like what am I learning about? Well, my family, we have a dog that we got at the end of February, and we're learning how to take care of that dog. And one thing that we're really noticing, especially since we're inside all day long, is that there's different ways to play that the dog likes to play. So we're figuring out different ways to help the dog play and get exercise. I could make a book about that. What about do? What do I spend a lot of time doing? Well, I like to bake. I like to bake a lot of food, so I can make a baking book. But you know what I noticed a lot of kids doing these days? I noticed a lot of kids going on walks with their families, and I was thinking, I was watching some children, and I noticed that there was one little boy that I was watching him walk by with his family, and you know what he was doing? He had a handful of sticks in his hand. So he looked like a collector. So he might make a book about like things he's collecting, like a book about all the sticks that he collects or all the rocks he collects. And I know another little girl, when she goes for walks with her family, they've been noticing all the masks that people wear. So she is making a book about masks and the different colors they are and the different ways people are making them and where people wear them and where people aren't wearing them. So that's something. What do you do? Think about what you do a lot that you could teach somebody else about. So did you see how I did that? I just thought, what could I teach somebody about? Do I love something a lot? What am I learning? What do I do? And I'm just going to pick one. So why don't you think for a minute about any one of these? What's popping into your mind? What do you want to teach somebody about? You think for a minute, and I'm going to think too about what I might make my book about. I know what I'm going to do. Do you know what you're going to do? Well, you could do two, right? You can make two books. Today, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a book about the one about playing with the dog, because that's really new for me, but I've learned a lot because we've been trying to get our dog a lot of exercise. So I've learned lots of different ways you could play. So then what I might do is I might just like think on each page, okay, like playing with dogs. Well, we take dogs for walks. I think people know that, but I'm going to put that at the beginning. Teaching that, I'm going to say something about like dogs like to play with other dogs. I didn't know that. My dog loves to play with other dogs, so I'm going to write about that. And then I think I'm going to write about how dogs like to fetch things. Some dogs do. Yeah, and then I might, I know another thing. Dogs like to dig when I was a little kid, our dog didn't like to dig holes, but the dog we have now likes to dig like crazy. So did you see how I just kind of like touched each page and thought about what I might teach somebody about how dogs like to play? So you could do it in a book. You could also just do it on a big piece of paper you have, or a poster. I might say like, dogs like to play. I might put that up here. Dogs, or playing with dogs. And then over here I might have a part where I say, take a dog on a walk. Let the dog sniff with another dog. Let the dog dig holes. Do you see how I'm like figuring out a place on my page where I might write the things that I can teach you about how dogs like to play? Well, I hope you have an idea, and I hope you have fun teaching somebody about something that you love, or something that you're learning about, or something that you like to do so much you could teach somebody else about it. Have a great time making a book or making a poster about something that you could teach us.